significance, Maggie?
Um, you describe it. It's
Truth and Reconciliation Day with our Indigenous people.
right.
Oh, okay.
So it's not a national holiday, but it is a nationally recognized day.
It's not a holiday in Ontario?
No.
No,
No,
it is here. It is
it's
here.
only for certain federal, like the banks. The banks were closed today, but not everybody.
Ah, that makes sense. Very good. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and get started. Well, first of all, to any of our Aboriginal friends paying attention or watching, hats off to you. We honor and recognize the lands that we are on. You know, they were here before we were, that's for sure. I just wonder who was here before they were. That's what I wonder. I think the dinosaurs.
We were.
All right. So, um, well, it's obviously month end, so we don't want to waste too much time. We want to give you guys an opportunity to actually finish the month strong, and there's still, phone calls that can be made. Even though there might be some hesitation, maybe we can help you overcome that. But it is the last day of the month, and so we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. I kind of always like what Dave says and what I say. It isn't over until it's over. And
Right.
that was definitely the case when I was shooting for a rank, especially, Royal Diamond. It was like it wasn't over till it's over. So you want every last precious moment to make it count. So if you've got some things in the hopper, and by the way, this is also a time that people wonder, should I hold those orders back? Dave, should they hold an order back? Why would that
I
make
wouldn't
any
do it.
sense or not make any sense?
I'm gonna confess here.
What's he
Oh,
doing?
oh, 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 oh.
I've done both.
Okay.
And so it's kind of like when we talked earlier today about tonight being the last day, and also this has got to be the first day of the month for us to plan the month. So my strategy as from a business standpoint, if I wasn't going to reach the objective, then I was going to consider, well, what's the plan? How quickly do I redo my plan for the next month? And what's in it for what I'm got going right now? Typically, I would never hold, anything over unless it was truly, really meaningful
Mm.
and would really contribute to something else. But in hindsight over the years, it all evens out. So you do it and it creates a necessity to do more. And
Yeah,
that's
that's
the
that's just it.
yeah.
That's just it. Okay, so I'll give you an example of this because once upon a time we used to tell people our volume for silver was 20,000 points in one calendar month. Today it's 6,000. So to make 20,000 points, often we would say find four people, or you get involved, get about 5,000 worth of products, get three other people to get 5,000, and there's your silver. So a lot of people would think, okay, that's what I'm going to do. And that's what they would actually do. And maybe on the second last day or the last day of the month, the third person that they're enrolling is thinking, wait a second, you're saying do 5,000 and get three other people. Well, I don't have time to get three other people. So now they're thinking, why don't I just hold my 5,000 till next month and then I'll get my three other people, which would mess up the plan for the person going silver that month.
Yeah.
So in order to not even think that way, what we started looking at was what would it take for you to go silver, regardless of what your order is, because your order is really for you. And if you're going to get to the end of the month, you don't want your order to play into it, to be a factor. So build your plan where your order is redundant. Your order is
Mhm.
redundant in your plan. And so that's when we moved from telling people to enroll with your five and get other people with five, three other people. We said, enroll with your five. Whenever it is, you do it. Do it right away. Get it started. Find four people. And that's how we made the redundancy.
Mhm.
So, same thing. I still hold true to that. And I have had great experiences with that where we I actually I actually had a person hold on to their order until the last day of the month because I needed the story for the next month. I wanted that story for the
Sneaky.
end of the
That's
next
funny.
month because that was going to be their first full month in the business, and I wanted them to be able to have that story where they could say somebody to somebody on the call on the last day of the month, I know how you feel. In fact, I purposely didn't place my order until the last day of the month. That's what Mike told me to do. So don't worry about it. Just get your order in. So
Right.
we wanted that story. I'll tell you how effective that was.
Mm.
That story ended up generating 60,000 points volume on the last day
I
of
took
the month.
Dutch out because I'm on a Zoom.
Right.
Wow.
So yeah, holding back your order, you can use it, not holding back your
To
order
walk, if you want me
or
to walk
waiting
in, they
to the
have to
last
wait
day of
until
the
for
month.
about 45 minutes.
You can
I
actually
can
Mute,
take
use
please.
that.
that.
Hang on,
Cheryl,
Michael.
let
Hold
me
your
just,
thought there. Would you guys mute your? There
yeah,
you
there
go.
you go.
Thanks.
So not holding back your order, make it part of the story. Make it part of the next month's story. That's really the point, because if somebody's getting involved today, then their first full month in the business is next month. So make it count. Make that part of their story, because they're going to have a last day of the month next month, and it's their story you're building. And I'm just giving another thought about this. We need to make the idea. We want the idea of building a story, a personal success story in someone's first 90 days. That's the game, guys. There's no other game. That's the game. When you enroll somebody, you really want to give them something to be able to brag about for the rest of their Nikan career. And that's their 90-day personal success story. And so your focus is to help somebody. And by the way, that's why the We Accelerate program is designed the way it is, because you're going to also earn the most you're going to earn on that activity with the We Accelerate program. So it lines up nicely. We want to give somebody, as a sponsor, the best start we know how to give them, knowing what we know today. Okay. So giving somebody the best start means thinking 90 days. You're thinking of a game plan. So that means the order that they place tonight factors into their story in their first 90 days, because their first full month in the business is next month.
Okay, so I think that's enough for September. Now let's go to October.
All right, Paula, look, we got a question with Paula.
Yeah, Paula.
Can you give me an example of how that story would play out? Because I'm not following you.
All right. So let's say, Paula, you're thinking about getting started, but you're saying, "Hey, Mike, the plan that you showed me says I need to enroll so many people and generate this kind of volume to go silver. Well, I don't see that happening today. So should I hold my order back and place my order next month? That way I can use that volume to contribute to my silver ship." My argument, Paula, if that's all you intend to do is go silver, don't start today. Hold your order. Don't even put it in ever. You're like, well, no, I want to build the business. I say, okay, well, if you want to build the business, then your order is not going to be much of an order compared to the business that you're building. So put it in today, because next month there's going to be the same last day of the month. And you're going to have somebody who's enrolling on your team. And that somebody's going to say exactly what you said. Hey, Mike, hey, Paula, it's the last day of the month. Maybe I should hold back my order. And what are you going to say to them? You're going to say to them what I just said to you.
I see. Okay.
And to Mike's point also, and what Mike talks about so many times, is the idea of duplication. Is what you were trying to do is teach people to duplicate an idea, a system, a method, a strategy, a plan. And if we just get the flows going, when somebody holds on to the order, they're actually suppressing their flows and jamming things up rather than pushing out and pushing out and pushing out. And but the real true solution to this is plan on the first day to reach your goal, and then go like the wind and reach your goal, so that the last day of the month you're putting in your final orders to reach your goal, so you can damn well celebrate and have a good time.
Exactly. Goal achievement is a very, very important exercise in being a conscious creator.
Yep.
I mean,
under-
it's like exercising a muscle. It's building a muscle.
I understand that, and it's a lot easier now that it's only 6,000, but is there a requirement for how many people you need to have in your group?
Nope, there's not a requirement. It's just the way the volume is distributed. You have to have a certain amount of volume, and then you have to have a certain amount of volume outside of your primary leg, and then a certain amount of volume outside of your primary and secondary leg. And if you actually do the math, you could pretty much do silver on your own, because the requirement is that you have at least 2 legs and they're doing at least some volume. But you
Okay.
have to have at least 6,000 points altogether.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a lot easier.
Yeah,
And
because
when you, yeah,
because I went silver when it was 20,000 and I didn't even concentrate on putting in any orders myself. I worked really hard with my two people that I had, and they both made it to bronze at that time, which popped me to silver.
Yeah, so that is, in fact, my strategy for going silver. Help somebody else do it.
Mhm,
Focus on someone else achieving it, and you get the lift.
mhm. Okay,
And then your attention and your focus is always on someone else. And then when they get in the business, what are you telling them? Focus on somebody else. And then you're telling the next person, focus
Yeah.
on somebody else. So everybody's eyes are downstream.
well, and especially with this, we accelerate because if you bring somebody new in prior to the we accelerate, you still, if as a silver, you still had to do 1,500 in order to get the overrides, right?
The full 20%, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's actually no, to get leadership bonuses, you still only have to do 100 to get overrides. 100 points is the minimum for any type of overrides and rebates. For leadership bonuses, it's the 1,500 points. That means on the silvers in your organization.
Okay, so I just signed somebody up today and I put in about a $1,500 order.
So they just went executive.
Oh, okay. Maybe not. It might not be a total of 1,500. I'll have
Go
to.
check. See, now this is what
Now,
I'm
is that
talking about.
commissionable or is that PV?
It's totally commissionable because that person that you've enrolled, you have the We Accelerate bonus and you have whatever your rebate is that you're entitled to at your rank as a silver, which is another 20%. So you've got 40% on the CV of that order, of that person's volume. So 20% on the first 500. Sorry, you got 20% across the board on all of it. That's the We Accelerate. Then, according to your rank, you have 20% on the first 500. Then they get to senior. Then you got 15% on the next 1,000. Now they're at executive. At this point, your silver override is 10% on them. Your We Accelerate override is 20. So that's a total of 30. So you're still at 30% override on that new consultant for the next, until they go silver. Then you'll be at 20% plus your 6%, that's 26%, until you run out of the We Accelerate program, which is 4 months from now. So what I would be doing is I would check their volume, find out if they are at senior. And if this individual is just a few 100 points shy of senior, you want to know if they're doing this for the business. If this is a business that they're going into, then by advancing to senior, that means all purchases and sales forward, I'm sorry, advancing the executive, all purchases and sales going forward means an extra 5% to them. They double their income from senior to executive. So if they're getting in the business to make money, it's a smart move to accelerate them to the executive level as quickly as possible. And that would be tonight if they've already got 3/4 or 80% of the way there.
So when I look at their volume, should I look at commissionable volume or
No.
PV?
PV.
PV.
Yeah. Look at their PV and or PGV if they've sponsored anybody else.
No, today was just
Just
like
them?
the
So
first,
PV.
the first day.
PV. Yeah. And by the way, do you know what they ordered?
Yeah, they ordered a fit, a grounding pad, mag boys, gloves.
So it was kind of a makeup order.
A seat and one
Yeah.
other thing.
So it wasn't a pack. It was just a
No.
combination of products. right.
Yeah, well, she's going to be a wholesale buyer, but she's got somebody that she might recruit that will do the
Well,
business.
and even as a wholesale buyer, remember, you still get a rebate. So the 5% she's at right now could be 10% if she's executive.
Okay.
So her rebate, even as a wholesale buyer, is better at 10% than it is at 5%.
Okay.
So
Okay.
if we're always thinking in the best interest of the person going forward, you'll never lose because you're always working in their favor. And that's how this business works best.
Well, since I started 24 years ago, the comp plan has changed and I haven't really boned up on that. So I'm a little bit at a loss, but
You know what? Maybe what we ought to do, Dave, on one of our calls coming up is a comp plan call.
Sure.
You know, get everybody caught up,
Yeah.
answer questions and so forth. That'd be good. That'd be great. Thanks, Paula.
And on that note, just to address that for Paula, and I talked about this last week, that really what you want to do for yourself is map out what it takes to get to your goal. And you know, you get a piece of paper and a pencil and you draw it out, you create circles, you create volumes, you create timelines, because the idea of what we do is it's one step on top of another step on top of another step on top of another step. It's a building process, and so on and so forth. So what somebody starts off buying $1,500 worth of product, well, fine. I've calculated out I probably spent $600,000 on product in my career in 35 years. So it adds up because that's what we do. And the interesting thing is distributors are the best customers because they buy product for themselves and for other people, and they get customers. And what you really want to think and expand your viewpoint on this is that when you recruit distributors versus a customer, the distributor, whether he's a customer or not, is not an issue. They are customers, but there's a potential that we can then stimulate the other activities through the use of this call and other calls that we're creating. And this is a real key issue. And of course, the more you have a plan for you, the easier it is to show them. And again, it's a business of duplication. And so I said this last week also, which is also plays into this. I look for people that needed to make $8,000 a month, which is what I needed to make. And when the two of us got together who needed that, and man, the conversations, the ideas, the thinking about it, the strategy, the working together, I mean, you just got excited, man. You just went to, and that's what makes it work. So there
Yeah,
you go.
last week's call was a mic drop call. If you haven't listened to it, you got to listen to it, because it really, that was one of the salient points was, what if you look for somebody who wanted what you want? Well, first of all, get a grip on what it is that you want. And then what if you actually found somebody else that wanted what you want? Like, could you ask that question? Hey, this is what I want. What about you? Does that sound like something you might want to? And all of a sudden now you're two peas in a pod and you start working together, strategizing, and there's something that happens. It's called synergy.
Sounds like the
Synergy.
dating game, Mike.
Sounds like the dating game. It does. All right, so we're already into the goal setting concept, the conversation. So let's move on from month end strategy, which again, everybody shore up that month end, maximize your earnings on the 15th. Remember, whatever you do this month gets paid on the 15th. So you're 15 days away from a paycheck from Nikan based on the volume that you end this month with. So the more volume, the more income, the better it is for your month of October. Now, given that we are going into the month of October, and October is going to be a very special month because Nikan is going to be celebrating the boss event, and it's not too late. I think Tuesday's the last day. Is it tomorrow or is it? Somebody might have the up. When's the last day that anybody can get a ticket for boss or for the 35th convention? It's pretty close. I know Jeff posted on all of our WhatsApps.
I think it's
So-
the 11th.
Oh, okay.
Was it
So
the
we still got
11th?
October 11th. So whatever it is, check it out. It's on the WhatsApp chat. Because you definitely want, I mean, if you're wondering whether you should go, if you're even teeter-tottering on it, call me. Like, just call me, call Dave. If you're teeter-tottering on the idea of whether you should go, call me. Let's have a conversation about it. I'm not going to twist your arm. That's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to want to ask you a bunch of questions about what you want 2025 to look like. Based on your answers to what you want 2025 to look like, I'll weigh in on the value and the importance of that particular event. Of course, it's also the celebration of the annual or the 35th annual celebration of Nikan, which is always fun to celebrate because it's always fun. And we like to have fun. We do. So that's also, oh, by the way, one last thing about month end. We also have the free shipping, which I hope some of you have taken advantage of because it really adds up. That free shipping is a great incentive to ask somebody in the wee hours of the last, few hours that we have of the month to say, hey, by the way, you've been thinking about, did I mention free shipping? Okay, so let's do this goal setting real quick. Get off the phone so everybody can get back to finishing up their month end. Think about, here's how I like to start goal setting. It's Look at what you set as a goal for this month of September. Ask yourself, in hindsight, what would I have done different to absolutely bulletproof my goal? Be honest. What would I have done different to have bulletproofed my success in achieving my goal? You've gone through a month, you've gone through what you've gone through. What would you have done differently if you were going to bulletproof your success in achieving your goal for the month of September? It's always easier to look at something in hindsight to say, okay, this is what I would have done differently. Because then that becomes your plan for October. So you reset the goal or you increase the goal and you take that information and move it into the month of October. That becomes the sticky notes. That becomes the things that you lean on because you know better now. And if we're not improving on what we're doing, then what's the exercise here? We're just getting together to have a conversation. We want to improve. Kaizen, always seeking improvement, right? The best way to do it is, you know what you set as a goal, look back and say, okay, what would I have to have done differently in the month of September to have bulletproofed my goal so that on this day I would have been celebrating its achievement?
Hey,
Those
Mike, I have
differences.
something to add to that right now because I am looking back and when I a couple of them there were just quick little bullet points, right? So 3 new people on board, so many people on PCC, like that. But what y'all were just sharing about with your vision, Dave, and your what you're wanting to achieve is totally different than just getting 3 people on board, right? It's a different conversation, totally.
Yeah.
So, from what I'm gathering and putting my little, my, what do you call it? My myself on the line is saying that really I don't have my why in my goals. And I just want to pose it back to you to say, well, what does that look like? The one before that. So my goals are monthly, then weekly, then like that, right? So the weekly one was 21 club, 10 books handed out. I think I've got 5 that I'm following up on, that's building vision for people to even think about having a multiple source of income, right? But there's a gap that I have from paper to.
There's also, I'm getting from what you're saying is there's a gap in maybe what you're projecting to other people because you're being shy about what it is that you want for yourself. So you're not really painting that picture. You're a little bit shy about how big a picture you want to paint for somebody. I always, my strategy has been one. It's only ever been one. I go to bat to hit a grand slam home run. If I end up bunting, that's just what happened. But I go up to bat to hit a grand slam. So when I'm in front of somebody, the goal is always the same. I'm looking for a partner who sees what I see or wants what I want and is ready to work with me. And if that's not them, then I want to know what is them. See, that's plan B. Plan B is what do they really want? That's for them. And see how that can marry into the plan. But I always want to paint a picture.
And that's so true. And to add to that, so you're having a conversation with somebody and you say, I've found something that's really exciting and I'm going for it and blah, 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 blah. And you try and find out what they want. And you ask the question, well, listen, I'm looking for a partner that wants to make between $5,000 and $10,000 a month. And they say, well, God, that's what I want. And then away you go. Now, if you don't have a plan that is written out that you've looked at that has that goal in mind and all the parts of that goal, then you're not going to ask that question. Because we won't talk about what we don't understand. And so, because we don't want to feel silly, we don't want to, so we shy away from it. And one of the observations for probably the last 5 years was there was a tremendous lack of an ability to communicate to the other side the solution of income. There was a great amount of knowledge about the products and the efficacy of the products and fix my lumbosis and this works better and all that sort of stuff. But the economic problem is just as valuable a solution as the health problem. And for some people, it's even greater because with money, with wealth, you can, buy better doctors and take care of yourself, eat better food, all that sort of stuff, and then you can read Randy Rolf's book and get all the right nutrition. So that's how I would deal with that is you do your plan, whether it's a $500 plan, a $1,000 plan, a $1,500 plan, I would do them all so that you've got it down. And then I had my presentation book. So I had these pictures of 1,000, 5,000, an organization structure, volume, retail, all of that stuff. So that when I was talking to somebody, I said, well, this is what we're going to build. And it was like, whoa, because they're coming to you in a sense because you've got to portray yourself as the guru that knows what to do because that's what people are looking for. They're looking for an answer.
I want to ask this
They wouldn't
question.
come to you.
Dave, I want to ask them the question.
Okay.
I want everybody to answer. So don't sit there blank. You have to answer. So do you all know how to actually raise your hand up on this thing? You go to the react button and you can do hand gestures and you can do this and you'll see mine will pop up as a hand gesture. But I want to get everybody's hand up who agrees and don't and maybe a thumbs up if you agree and a thumbs down if you don't agree. So here's my question. My question is, does everyone on this call know how to answer if they have a prospect asking, I'd like to know how to make $5,000 a month? Does everyone on this call have an answer to that question?
It might not.
Okay, so there's a few people who don't. Okay.
I was actually going to say, Mike, when y'all go over the comp plan, if you went over this as well with how to share
Okay.
earning that, then that would give us.
Let me finish my thought.
Okay.
So, and by the way, we do have that. It's in writing. It's been published, and we do cover that on the Thursday night call. However, the simple answer that all of you can actually say, yes, you do have the answer, is me, Dave. You could ask either one of us to fill in for you or to answer in an ABC call how to do it. So you all have a yes answer to that question. In fact, if you had a bigger question, $10,000 a month, if somebody came to you and said, can you show me how to make $10,000 a month? You should be able to say without a blink of an eye, absolutely. Yes, I can. Now, it may not be you doing the talking from that point. It'll be somebody who is able to do it and who's demonstrated it. So the thing that is super, super important here is that you have people that can answer that question in your back pocket. Consider us your board of your, what do you call it? Your corporation has a board. Advisory board. Where your advisory board, you have that. It's already built into the equation. So the answer is yes. Now, if you have a yes answer to that question, can you ask the question? Can you start raising the question? Maggie, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I was going to say that I know how to do that, but I wouldn't do that. I would bring in you or Dave because that third party credibility helps them see that they don't have to know the answer. They can call you.
As a matter of fact. And so now what you're teaching them is the power of the ABC, which is the system. You're using the system. And,
yes,
and
sir.
That's the key. The key is ABCs. And it's much more fun. Everybody loves to meet somebody new and exciting and interesting. And especially if that person has new information. Sherelle.
Yes, thank you. Two things. Sorry about my mic. I apologize for that.
No worries.
Also, the rhythm is working for me because I'm able to use it as I'm prospecting, as I'm looking for people, as I come across people, and it's very easy for me. making it very simple for myself and getting some good results. So some you see, some behind the scenes. And just a quick update on Eddie. He is comfortable. He wants to get some products. He got his necklace. He did get that. He is wearing it. He is also talking. He has a best friend that he's talking to. So I do believe he's going to be some sort of influence on her. But he's content being a customer right now. But I did get him to agree to join me on the brand call, the brand Zoom. So
Cool.
he's definitely interested in learning more about the product line.
And
And
he may be a source of referrals for you. If now the question is what referrals are you looking for? You might ask Eddie, I'm looking to find somebody who's looking to achieve whatever it is that you are looking to achieve. So if it's a number. See, you know people I don't know, Eddie. I'm sure
Yes.
of all the people you know, there might be somebody who's interested in achieving that. Would you mind making the introduction? Now, I'm pretty sure Eddie's going to be thinking twice about whether or not he just wants to be a customer when he hears you ask that question.
Yeah, for
Yes,
sure.
I think he wants to just be able to speak confidently about what the products are doing for him, his
Sure.
own story, so he can translate that to other people. But I do believe this is going to be some sort of source of income for him. He's just taking his baby steps, and I respect that, and I
Yeah,
respect what he
no,
wants to
hey,
do.
no problem
You know,
there.
yes,
But he does
absolutely.
know people you don't know, and you
Yes,
need
he
some help.
does.
Do you need help,
Yes,
Cheryl?
absolutely.
You need help finding a few partners, right? Maybe you
Yes.
can ask Eddie for his help. Hey, Eddie, I'm so happy that you made a decision to become a Nikon customer, take advantage of the products. I'm looking forward to your experience with that. And I came to you looking for help. I came to you because I'm looking to build a team. I'm looking for people who are looking for what I'm looking for. And you know people I don't know. So of all the people you know, Eddie, of all the people you know, what one person comes to mind you think that might be excited about making an extra $5,000 a month? Or
Wow.
$1,000 a month or whatever
Right.
it is. So
Yes.
this is that's networking, by the way. What networking is connecting people to people who can help other people achieve whatever they're doing. And so I always found asking for help as the easiest way to prospect because I'm actually sincerely looking for help. It's not a put on. I'm
Yes.
really looking for help. You know people I don't know. Here's what I've got. I would appreciate you having a kick of the tires so you see what it's about. Maybe you can refer someone to me. You can address the need for help. So
I
Yes.
got a story,
asking for help.
Michael.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I used to work in the car business, and I was a car salesman. I worked for Ford Motor Company. That's where I started off, and this was in Vancouver, Canada. And I didn't buy or own a Ford Motor Company car, but people came into the dealership to buy that kind of a car. Now, here was the observation. When somebody needs and wants something, all they're interested in doing is getting what they need and want. That triggered something in my education and training for network marketing because when I started doing network marketing, what I saw is if I could put in front of somebody what they need and want, their eyes got big as saucers and their ears flopped like an elephant and they paid attention. If I didn't talk to them about what they were interested in, it was like, well, let's see, la-di-da. How long is this going to be? When can I go home? We going to get a coffee or what's the deal? I want to go there. That's what you get. You lose their attention. So that then changed how I would talk to anybody. Because here's what I want to do is I want to be able to ask somebody the question. Well, I'm in the grocery store and I'm out shopping and I meet somebody and then, well, I was going to meet somebody here to expand my business. I'm looking for somebody to fill a position and it's around $5,000 to $10,000 a month. You might know anybody like that. Guess what they're going to do if they're interested? They're going to go chabunk. They're going to bite. They're going to, it's like a fish on a hook. And our job is to throw out those hooks because that's what we do. Let's look at social media. What's social media all about? It's throwing out tons of hooks, and hopefully you match with somebody, whereas you can take control of this and start directly asking people. But here's the only way you're going to ask people if you know the answer. You got to know the answer first, because if you know the answer, then you can ask the question. If you don't know the answer, you won't ask the question. Back to you, Mike.
I just want to say, Randy, I love the background. Okay. Do we have
I
any
just wanna
questions or
add-
comments?
Well,
Do we have
yeah, I
any-
want to add,
Wait,
on
wait,
the-
Randy just unmuted. I want to hear what she has to say.
Go ahead, Randy.
Oh, these are my signature paintings by my husband. The high heels. And I'm in California now, so this is my background from California.
Cool. All right. Barbara.
Yeah, I just want to underline that two things. That it's a game we play.
Yep.
And I need carrots. I need things. So you heard
Yep.
me say 10 more people on PCC. Well, then half of those I want on auto ship on PCC, right? So I've got that. Mike, I ordered my little pink packs for $25 to send out samples, because if they're from away, they're like, well, how do I know I like it? I'm not going to order 90 days supply if I don't like it. I'm like, half of me wants to say, well, I'll buy it back or this. But anyway, what I'm saying is play a game with yourself, up your ante on certain things. And I'm doing the same right now with the Long Beach. And I actually got in touch with my alma mater. Now, I went to school in Switzerland for 2 years, my first 2 years of college. And there are people that live out here in California. I don't know where or what, but I was like, you know what? They might not be in my address book, but I know people. So let me ask people who they know that know people in the area. And I say, any of the beaches, Long Beach, this beach, that beach, whatever beach. And then my last one, I just talked to somebody and their friend is in South LA. And I said, great. Let's see if we can get them to get a friend and make a date, like an afternoon, evening of it, to have a friend come down. And darn if I didn't use the raffle gifts. Anybody that clips coupons or wants to save money or wants to win things, Nikken is sometimes giving away sleep systems. Do I know that? What they're giving away? No. Could it be a pillow? Could it be an eye mask? Could it be water bottles? Yes. And I said, and there's one raffle specifically for guests. And I just kind of put that little seed out there, not knowing, but now my friend's friend wants to have a friend come in the car, right? So then they're going to make it fun, and the wine makes it fun, right? Or
Yeah, so
lemon
I'm
water.
glad you brought that up, because we definitely want to talk about that, because we want to promote that now.
And right now I'm saying RSVP with $1. I don't know how or what, but we want names of people coming in, and I'll have to figure out some way to do it if we don't come up with the microsite soon.
So I want to take what Barbara's saying, but I want to flip it.
Okay.
What if you were sitting in California, let's just say Los Angeles area? It's about a 20-minute drive on a good day to get to the venue in Long Beach. Let's call it 30 minutes with some traffic.
You got to use, it's going to take a half a day to get there, Michael.
I probably would. But they knowing what it takes and the comfort zone that they would have to get out of to accommodate coming to an event they know nothing about. Tell me something. What would be the worm at the end of the hook? What would be the bait at the end of the hook that would get somebody out of their comfort zone in a car through traffic for 30 or more minutes?
One of my
meeting?
main lines was like-minded people. So
Okay.
I want
Hang
help.
on, let's write this down. Like-minded people. Okay.
So they're
I
going to
want to hear.
know
I want to hear
more about
everybody.
health.
I want to hear everybody.
Oh, got it. Sorry.
What would cause somebody to get? I want you to think about it. What would cause you to get out of your comfort zone, get in a car, drive across town through traffic to come to an event you don't know who's there? What would it take for you to move into your Sherelle?
I'm looking for something. I'm seeking something.
What would it take, Sherelle?
Or what would it take?
Yeah.
On a Friday afternoon,
Yeah, give me something specific. Like I want to write, like, what would it take?
win $100 gift.
I
me
want to
tell you-
go. I want to go to the place.
You don't
I
know
wanna
what it
get there.
is. You just want to get from point A to point B? No, you don't.
Well,
What would it take for you Somebody calls you up tonight and says, "Hey, I've got this thing going on. It's 30 minutes away. It's through traffic. It's on this date. Come for a couple of hours, have some wine and cheese, whatever." But that's not why you're coming. What would they have to tell you that would get you out of your comfort zone? Maggie, you've got an idea. Maggie?
Yeah, I just sent a text actually, and what I said in it was that, because I'm reaching out to the landmark community. So I said, I'll be in Southern California for a wellness conference. And part of our outreach to the community will be on Friday through a fun event, Wine and Wellness. I would like to invite people in that area that evening. Please put me in touch with people that you know. So it was that outreach to the community, because I know that these people, this target market, are people who want to make a difference in the community.
Okay. An
And they're
outreach.
interested in
So the-
wellness. Yeah.
Okay, so but what I heard there is what you're doing. Why would I come?
Well, this is just to a leader there that I want him to think about people that I could invite. And if I
Okay.
was inviting people personally, I would say things like, do you like winning things? Do you like having a glass of wine in a comfortable setting? Do you like meeting like-minded people who are about making change in the world, things like that, depending on the person. But knowing the community that I'm targeting, those would be the things that I would say.
Okay, write that down. Anybody else? Nancy, Sherelle, have you got? Let's go to Nancy. Nancy?
Okay, what I was thinking of this Friday, I'm meeting with a flight attendant whom I met at church. She is so excited to learn about Niken, she can hardly stand it. And she has free flying. Not to Long Beach, she flies for American. But anyway, I was thinking, what would I say? Well, from this conversation, I would tell her what I want. And I'd say, I'm going to talk to people to just grow further because I'm going to do this. Do you want the same thing I want to do?
Amen. That's what I've been looking for. Randy. You're muted, Randy.
Yeah, same thing. I was thinking about what I would tell them that I want and look for people who want the same thing, which is to be at the cutting edge of preventing chronic disease and living as long as they possibly can
Write it
and
down.
doing it all naturally. And this
Cutting
company's
edge.
at the cutting edge.
Cutting edge of
I want to
city,
know about cutting edge of health.
living longer, healthier.
And more
Staying
resilient to chronic
vibrant and
disease.
young.
Okay, that has a benefits associated. So what we're looking at for our benefit statements of benefit. In other words, if I come, I get to know this or to have this. Yes, Dave.
In 1990, it was, I think it was October, I got a call from an associate that said, "Hey, I want you to come down to this meeting in Anaheim," which was 2 hours away from me. There's a hot new idea that I think we can make a ton of money at, and it starts at 7 p.m.
So
Well-
I'm coming. You got my attention, Dave.
So I drove for 2 hours, and it was in the basement of this hotel, and there's these guys in suits with Meg.
It was the promise of something,
Oh,
and
God.
okay, but here's the point. That would have gotten my attention.
Yeah.
Some of the other things wouldn't have gotten my attention. So who is it that you want to attract to that wine and wellness? People who like wine, people who like wellness, or people who want to make a difference, an impact, pioneer something, make a fortune, whatever. Like, think about who you want to attract, because you got to put on the end of the hook the thing that they're attracted to.
And to add to that, Michael, what's so important in what we do is we're a social business and we deal with people. And the key to it is we create relationships by finding out what other people need and want. And it's when we find out what they need and want that we can then create that magnetism, whatever you want to call it, to attract attention and start communicating on the same page. So if we had this event, unfortunately, I don't think I can make it, but if we had this the same kind of event, we're trying to invite people, my prospecting efforts prior to that event would be geared to, again, like what was said, what I want, what I'm interested in, or what I've figured out what they want. So
But
one guy might
Dave,
want
I
a
would
business
ask you,
opportunity.
Dave, I would ask you, you live in the area, you're close by. Who do you know that might know somebody that wants to come? So I'm going to ask you, but I'm going to talk through you a little bit,
Sure.
because that
Yep.
way you kind of put your guard down. I mean, a lot of us know about body language, forward and back. And if you say, you want this, you want that, well, maybe I don't know. But if I
I
say,
mean,
well, who do
there's
you
lots of
know?
techniques that can be applied, but the bottom line is the more you know the people that you're prospecting,
Right.
and the more you understand what they need and want, the easier it is to present that solution to attract attention, to get them motivated to come.
I'm gonna talk about the wine and wellness event from a perspective of the prospect that I'm looking to attract. So I don't want to introduce them to products. I want to introduce them to a way of life that could stimulate and that they could help pioneer the introduction to North America. I want them to consider themselves as an entrepreneur right from the moment I start talking to them. So I'm not going to sell them products. I'm not going to sell them the opportunity to buy products. I'm going to sell them the idea of pioneering the introduction of something new and unique out of Japan. Come and see what it's all about. When they get there and they see the thing that they see, they're going to get excited anyway. They're going to meet a bunch of people. They're going to see a bunch of demos, but they are going to see something different. The point is, I'm not bringing them to see that. I'm bringing them to that to see how exciting it is to represent that. So the angle that I'm going to be pitching is like what Dave was saying. It's the picture, the big picture is the introduction of a new way, a new technology, a new way of life, a new way of doing things, a new way of making money, a new way of like to be at the front end, the leading edge. Those are cutting edge of health, wellness, technology, and marketing. Like pick the words that really relate to what it is that you want that person to be inspired by based on who it is you're talking to. I know that I'm not looking for customers in California. Mike DiMuccio doesn't play that game. The game that I play is who wants to own California. I'm looking for the person who's going to.
Michael, you can't do that. I own
Sorry, Dave.
California.
Sorry, Dave.
No,
sorry, Dave.
Michael.
I'm going to get the. No, sorry, Dave. Sorry, Dave. You're on notice.
You're not coming, Dave.
Hey, I got a picture of a Nikken magazine that says Dave Rolfe is the first Royal Diamond in California. It's my state.
Okay, well, we're looking for the next Royal Diamond, so that's my. That's the point, guys. That is the point. What we're looking for is maybe not just a few people that could get excited about Nikken products, but a few people who could get excited about leading a charge, about leading a state. We've publicly stated that our goal is one new diamond or Royal Diamond in every state and province in North America. So that's what we're after. And so how do you start that conversation? You got to find somebody who fits the bill. And I'm not going to do it by putting a worm on the hook. I'm going to put it by putting, a nice golden fish that they really grab onto. Oop.
Why haven't you gotten in bed?
I'm going to mute that. So you follow what I'm saying? You got to bait the hook with what it is that you're after, and it has to be a benefit statement. If what you're saying doesn't present a benefit, them coming in that statement presents a benefit that they would receive, then you're just telling them what you're doing. And remember, start with why. That's the marketing message 101. Start with why. Why are you doing that? Don't start with what you're doing. Why are you doing what you're doing? Why? Because we're pioneering the launch and the introduction of a new technology, a cutting edge health and wellness, live longer, healthier, and create a financial succession plan. You know, that is why we're bothering to gather in California and why we're doing this event. It's an opportunity to kickstart Nikken in California with a new tribe, with new, may I say it, kick-ass leaders. And we have to present and we have to draw them in.
Mike, I'm going to be a little bit of a devil's advocate. So you're having your 35th convention and you're looking for new people to build out here? Like, what's up? Or
we've done billions of dollars and you never heard of us. We've tapped less than 2% of the market with 98% to go. Which piece of it do you want?
Warren Buffett's still buying and selling stocks.
Exactly. Just because you haven't heard of us doesn't mean we're not important. And just because we are small doesn't mean we don't have the potential to be huge.
I like the which part do you want to have?
What percentage of this do you want? Nancy.
I just wanted to say the why. Way back, had kids in the house, zero money. Found Nikken, so excited, knew it would help my husband with his coaching. And they said, you need to go to Silver. And that's when you were required to have Silver. My husband and I went to Houston, so I already done that. But they said, we're having a Silver training in Boise, Idaho, and you need to come there because you will meet people who are doing it. You can rub shoulders with people who understand this, and you'll learn so much. And I found a way. I humbled myself and asked friends who were a pilot and said, do you have any miles I could use to get to Boise? So when you really want to go, you get there.
Right.
There you go.
What
There's
they presented was something that you wanted. They presented what you wanted to know how to succeed at this.
Yeah.
So that's the point is, if we're not presenting a why that's compelling to cause somebody to get out of their comfort zone, they're not going to come. And if you're taking the time and effort to, generate a retail sale, then that's really not using the opportunity that's being put in front of you. You want to take full advantage of the fact that you're going to have a room full of the premier Nikken consultants, the ones who made a decision to be there, of all the people in North America in Nikken, of every rank and creed, the ones that are actually there are the ones that are on fire. And if you put a person in front of that audience, even if they said nothing, the energy that exudes from that group of people when they're together is magnetic. They're going to say, I don't know what these people are into, but I want in. So it's a huge opportunity to leverage probably the premier event in all of this year and next. Well, the next one will probably be the 50th anniversary, but it's an absolutely golden opportunity to showcase the best of what we've got in a short amount of time. And it's not, and I repeat, not about the product. That's the means to the end. What's the benefit of association with the products? Without even using the word product. I never use that word. I use technology. I don't want people to think I'm schlepping products.
You would then say, this is our showcase of what we have and what we do. The business, this is the mechanism. The business is beyond that. When you're inviting people to come to LA.
I wouldn't even say that. I would just say what you're going to get is what you need to get if you're serious about what we talked about. You're looking for $5,000-$10,000 a month, then you need to kick the tires. We have an event coming up. It's the event of the year. You want to come and kick the tires? Now's the time.
And Saturday day.
And I'm flying 5 hours to get there. You have a 20-minute car ride. So don't, if you're going to pull an excuse, well, I'm kind of busy. Well, I'm kind of busy too. I'm flying 5 hours to be there.
I got to tell this story because it's really important. When I was doing Herbalife back in the 80s, prior to Nikken coming to this country, what we used to do is we used to place ads in towns away from where we lived. And then we'd set up interviews, fly up there and interview people all day long. And the person from out of town is always the king in that new land because that's the way it works. So this is a perfect example of doing that.
It's how I
So
launched Mexico. It's how I launched Quebec. It's how I launched Vancouver.
exactly.
It's how I launched most of my international business. So yeah, that's what you do. You present a case for why it's important.
I'm coming to town. I want to sit down and talk with you. We're going to make a small fortune. What time do you want to be there?
It's very different than perhaps what you had in mind tonight, right? Or even what you were seeing in terms of the promotion, wine and wellness.
We're opening up Long Beach.
We're opening up California.
We're opening up California.
You know,
Commercial time.
yeah, we're kickstarting Nikken next.
I just created 2 videos of somebody put on the Nikken chat. What can I send out to a business prospect for an opportunity? And unfortunately, we don't really have anything to send out to anybody. So I created 2 videos, and I'm now piloting those 2 videos with people that are interested in looking at them. So if you do or are interested, just write me in the Smart
Is it-
Networker.
Anybody here interested?
Yeah.
You are now. Good.
And I'll send it to you. It's not in the final form. This is just, the
Yeah.
recording. I'll do the first one. It's a short one, and then the long one. So it's 1 and 2 kind of a concept. Just put
Let's
it in
have it.
Smart Networker on WhatsApp.
Paula.
Talking about energy, that's what the Team Diamond events were all about. You went there and you couldn't help but be totally fired up.
Exactly. You get a bunch of Nikken people in an audience, it's just a different kind of an experience. And
Well,
that's
the
what
thing-
we've got.
The thing was you could walk through the crowd and talk to Reed and talk to anybody, and they were so willing to talk to you, like it was a mind-blowing experience.
Yeah.
And we
So
can
now
do
I'm-
that again.
Exactly. And we're doing that. This event was a guest event that we asked for Nikken to provide the mechanism so that we could do this guest event. It wasn't actually on the agenda. So we're thinking, wait a second, we're all there.
Well,
Who
that's
else
what
needs to
Friday
be
night-
there?
That's what Friday night was all about at Team Diamond. Now, you might have done some more recognition and had new people that went rank, and sharing, but that excitement and that bringing people to that was really awesome. If anybody has a guest come to the round, to the wellness circle or the wine and wellness and the Saturday event, they're in. They've got the vision, they've got the potential, they've got all these people to have live ABCs with, which is amazing.
Okay, it's
want-
9:58.
Yeah, we gotta
8:58,
run.
Michael. What
I
would
just
I
want
like
one
to
last
suggest?
One last thought. I want you to imagine you have a new Nikken Diamond on your team in 2025 because you played this hand correctly.
So I'd like everybody to write their goal for October in the chat. And then Michael will keep this open, and then we'll record that chat and copy that chat so we know who's doing what. So, 2 minutes, 3 minutes to write a quick goal?
Let's do that. Yeah. 2 minutes.
Is it too late to
Starting-
add to the marketing something about the business? Because wine and wellness is such a big global, no, too late.
It's how you and I talk about it. That event is just an excuse to gather those people.
Okay,
How we call it, what we call it. It's like come to see the franchise.
Welcome
It
to
doesn't
the-
matter what it is.
okay.
Can I talk while people are thinking?
Well,
I'm sorry?
yeah, you can, if you can do 2 things at the same time. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I was just going to say my first big event was at the fly-in down in Central Texas in 1998. And I remember telling people, and to this day I say, I was 1 foot off the ground. I mean, I was just I couldn't believe it. It was mind blowing being there, seeing the excitement, all of that. I don't remember being shown any products or anything. The other thing is, Michael, what did you say? You said something billions in sales. We have or have not reached 2% penetration. What
We
did you
have
say?
not.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
We're less than 2% penetration with 98% to go. How much of it do you want to be yours?
Yeah. Okay. Thank
You
you.
know, I think there's a story I remember. Keep writing, guys. I'm not seeing the chat moving. I remember there's what's his name? The guy from Galactic Airlines. What is he? The British guy. The British guy with all those companies. Sir, whatever his name is.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, he came to North America, the cellular phone business, Virgin Atlantic. So Virgin Cellular came in pretty late to the market. 65% of the market had already been tapped with cell with all the big players. He comes in and he was asked, and they were there like, "You're kind of late to the party, friend." He said, "Well, my understanding is 35% of the market has not yet made up their mind who they're going with. I want a piece of that action." Smart. That's what a billionaire does. They think opportunity, not loss. And so we have such a huge market that doesn't know we exist. What are we doing here, guys? You are the pioneers. You are now the front end. You are now the front face of Nikken and what Nikken gets to become in the next 20 years. What you give birth to, the logs that you light up, those are the ones that you're going to live off of. Those are the legacies that are coming next. Those are the new diamonds that we're talking about. They're going to be yours. They were somebody else's. Now they're going to be yours because you're the ones here. You're the ones prospecting for diamonds. So let's get busy. Let's leverage this event like crazy to find a diamond. Find a diamond in the rough. When they come, we'll handle them with care. They're going to see some pretty spectacular stuff, and you're going to have lots to talk about when they leave.
Now, for those that
You know-
that are putting their goal in for the chat, the next step you want to take with that goal is what are the activities that are going to get you there? And then you list those out because that's what you got to do. I mean, it's just activities create results. So, you want 5 new people, then what are you going to do to get 5 new people? If you
By the way, just
follow
an FYI, a goal, I was taught, is something measurable. And it's quantifiable, and usually we know what the timestamp is. It's this month coming October. So I know there's a lot of good thoughts, but that's not a goal. Wishful thinking is not a goal. A goal is something that you can say, I have achieved. Okay, it's quantifiable. So whatever it is that you've written, Jeannie, a new business partner, what does that look like to you? What will they have done for you to have defined that they, in fact, are such a thing? Is it signing an application form? Is it signing an application form, purchasing 2 or 3 packs? Like, what is your definition of somebody who's meeting that? Have they invested some time? Have they made their list? I have mine. It's 3 things. If they haven't done these 3 things, they're not yet there. So a partner to me is different than a consultant. A consultant is somebody who signed and did whatever. Partner is somebody who signed, has their $1 million list, and has set aside time for a 90-day blast. That's a partner. Other than that, you have a consultant. So that's my definition. What's yours? That's what I'm duplicating as a definition. What's yours? Okay, good. We got the chat going still. Okay, yeah, it's starting to look a little bit more specific. Good stuff.
On the lighter side, one of my prospects is a former player of my husband's, and he is one of the bachelors on The Golden Bachelorette on TV.
That's cute.
amazing. He's the ER doctor, if anyone's watched that. I've never watched that program, but I went, oh my gosh, Guy Gansert's on there. I've got to see what happens. Anyway, but I sent duct tape to him because he had to have some surgery on his knee. And he said, I went walking yesterday, overdid it, or maybe it was earlier today. He said, I put the duct tape on. And he said, I don't understand why, but it feels great. And I'm going, yeah.
There you go. Magic.
Okay, we good with the chat?
Yeah,
Is
looks really
everybody
good.
finished? Okay, I am
Can
going
you copy
to.
that, Michael?
Yeah, I'm going to save it right now.
Okay, good.
And then it's the last day for you to send out bracelets and samples of greens packets if you want from your Nikken Share app. If you have that.
Okay. I believe it's saved. It says chat saved, show in folder. All right, it is saved. How cool is that? All right, good stuff. All right, guys. There is still a little bit of a month left, like a couple hours here in Eastern time. So I'd like to turn you back to your business. And I hope that this conversation has stimulated some thinking and take full advantage of what we've got going in California, because who knows who that next diamond's going to be that breaks that market wide open. Could be yours. Hopefully it is.
I'm taking it from you, Dave. Watch out.
Oh, I'm not the least bit worried. I'm shaking.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night. See you guys next week.
Bye.
Good night.
Oh, Thursday.